evening, darlings, and welcome to our 10th episode of Greenwood Talks, which is so exciting that I got something a little special, which is this local 13 herb liqueur, and it's absolutely wonderful, darlings. I'm really enjoying it. It's got a very spicy smell and a very sweet flavor, but it's very complex, and you really can taste all the different sort of floral notes and many different spices. I'm not even sure what all of them are, but it's absolutely delicious. So I want to get right to the question, because otherwise I will just sit here and drink that all night long, and we have a lot to get to. The question for this evening is from an anonymous person who asks, "Dear King Thranduil, I know you don't normally approve this sort of thing, but I was wondering if you could give me advice on how to seduce a dwarf. Sincerely, a love-struck elf." Oh, darling. Oh, darling. Oh, darling. Of course, you know, I have centuries worth of sort of experience. I'm not saying particularly with seducing dwarves. I'm not saying that I have any experience with that, or with dwarven turn-ons, or anything like that. I would never. But I should say, just knowing sort of what I know about what interests dwarves, not necessarily sexually, you know, they're very keen on craftsmanship, and I'm not just talking about metallurgy or anything like that. It doesn't have to be all gold, 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 although of course, you know, they do enjoy that. But sort of make sure, if you're trying to sort of get their attention, is particularly from afar, maybe wear something that has some fine work to it, whether it's just a very well woven piece of fabric in the cloth, or intricate embroidery. You know, those sorts of things tend to get their attention very easily. Now, you can of course spice that up with some nice jewelry, particularly gems. You know, that sort of always is a good way to get their attention. I've sort of heard, I've never done this. This is not personal experience here, darlings, at all. But I have heard of something that sort of, if you're already in the relationship with them, something you could sort of do, I've heard as a bedroom trick, darling, is just, you know, you just wear sort of simple robe, but then underneath you have something like a very detailed bejeweled necklace, and nothing else, just that, or perhaps some fancy lingerie or something with it. But you want to focus, of course, on the piece, and the piece should sort of accentuate some part of your body. Now, I know that dwarves are sort of keen on very different body parts than we elves are, and I don't even know about humans. Of course, I have no experience with that either. But you know, it varies, of course, from person to person, sort of their interests. But if you're trying to seduce them, I would assume that you know a little bit about them, and probably can sort of figure out that that's sort of a bit of trial and error, you know, and go right ahead and figure that out. I don't need to know sort of the outcome of that, darling. That's something between you and them, and I don't need to be privy to all that. But yes, I think a lot of it is just, it's just personal taste. So I don't really have very much advice for you, actually, now that I think about it. You know, most of my advice is sort of not in that area. But, oh, dwarves tend to be very competitive, darling. So you can sort of use that to your advantage, you know, and sort of create a contest that maybe is a little involved with certain bedroom activities, and see who can outdo the other one. And you know, dwarves love to argue. They absolutely love to argue. I don't know what it is, but they do. So, something about perhaps the passion behind it, I'm not really sure. It's just sort of, you know, you get into an argument and all of a sudden things just sort of happen. Not that I know from personal experience now, darling, but yeah, you could sort of start a bit of an argument. Now, don't go for anything too big, you know. They do have quite a bit of a temper, and some are particularly violent too. So you want to just sort of start an argument that maybe has to do with who can do something better. Sort of blend these things together and see what you come up with. It may be quite a lovely evening you two have together. And again, I don't need the details. You can just send me a that was helpful or not helpful, but no details, please, darling, if you don't mind. And so that sort of concludes what I think I can offer you. Of course, without having any personal experience. And so I'm just going to take the last bit of time here, since we have come now to our 10th week together, darlings, which means, of course, that it's been 2.5 months of doing video requests together, and I think that's very special, and I know I say this all the time, and I don't want the words to sort of lose their meaning, but I really am thankful for all of you out there who have stuck with me so long, and you've really given me something very special. So I hope that any of this can be helpful to those of you out there, so that I can sort of give a little bit back to you. And of course, please keep the requests coming. I absolutely love to do them, and just thank you. So have a good evening, darlings, and ta-ta.